everyone. Welcome back to another weekly garden walkabout and talk and chat, and just wanted to go through the garden again and show you what's new this week, what's blooming. Let's walk and check out the garden together. It's been very I would say crazy weather-wise in this week. We've had so much rain. Parts of Toronto were flooded. Luckily for me, in my garden, things were not as bad. There wasn't much of flooding, but the plants did get a lot of rainfall, which is amazing, which is great. And I just wanted to walk around and show you what the garden was looking like today. It is mid-July. Lots of I would say summer perennials are in bloom. The daylilies are coming in and out of bloom, and lots to look forward to. And here is Ollie saying hello. Is enjoying this weather here. It's cooled off quite a bit today, so it's nice. And I wanted to walk around the garden and show you what's blooming. So this is the side yard garden. I thought I would start with this today and show you what's happening here. As you can see, I've cut back a lot of the old blooms from the roses, but the balloon flowers in the back are really prolific and looking great. And so is this beautiful phlox here. So lots of color. There is coneflower in the back there as well that is starting to bloom. I do have veronica that is still blooming. Lots more coneflower here that is blooming as well. And lavender is continuing to bloom, and it's looking great. And I do also have this little potentilla flower blooms, which are very delicate and pink, and they are blooming as well. The daisies are almost done blooming. I have to come and deadhead, and hopefully we'll get another round of blooms. Florentina rose here is pretty much done blooming, but it's putting on a lot of crazy growth, and there are still some blooms on it, which is looking really nice. And the lilies, I think this will be the last of these beautiful tree lilies. They are blooming so prolifically. I love this color. It is so vibrant and beautiful. And my bobo hydrangea is starting to bloom as well, and it's actually looking really pretty. This is the first year it has looked this nice. Usually it just burns for me. And then I have this beautiful standard, which is also starting to put out some blooms. This is the pink diamond variety. And yeah, I mean, geranium roseanne is looking really nice. The catmint got all cut back, and it is flushing back nicely, as you can see. So it's much neater and it's less floppy everywhere. So I'm liking that. And I do have baby Joe Pieweed, which is starting to open up, and it's going to bloom and look really pretty in this spot here. I do have another quick fire hydrangea, which is starting to turn pink. I don't know if you can see that. It's a very sunny part of the day, so things might not be as clear, but I just wanted to get out here and show you what was blooming in the garden. Black-eyed Susans are starting to open up everywhere. As you can see, they are really going to add these pops of yellow everywhere, and I love them for that reason. And I also do have lots of coreopsis blooming everywhere. This is Zagreb. I would highly recommend this variety. It's beautiful. The color yellow is very bright on that one. This is a this is a firelight hydrangea, which is also starting to open its blooms. And I'm excited. My little lime punch has some blooms on it, and this is the first year it is starting to bloom. It's, I think, finally settled a bit in my garden. So I'm excited to see how this one is going to progress. Lilies are being chewed by lily beetles, but I'm still getting some lilies here and there, which is nice, but they are almost done blooming. The macrophylla hydrangeas are happy because they got a lot of water and they are looking good. So are the incredible hydrangeas. They are looking really nice as well. And you know, this area is starting to fill in a lot. It's looking good. Of course, the hostas are getting chewed by something, either slug snails or earwigs. Those are the usual culprits in my garden that munch on the hostas. But you know, there is lots of blooms on the hostas here and there. And I have cleaned up some of the blooms, and some of the blooms are still hanging on to the hostas. But overall, I think it's looking really, really pretty. Very green, very beautiful in the garden right now. I have limelight primes that are starting to put out some flower buds as well, which is lovely to see because these are my transplanted ones and I wasn't sure how they were going to perform in this new location. So I am thrilled with that, and Ollie agrees with me. And then lots of the hosta blooms are done, but I need to come out and deadhead. But you know, the garden is still looking great. There isn't much blooming here. The coneflowers are starting to bloom in this part of the garden. I do have daylilies that are blooming as well. I love the color of these daylilies. I think they are beautiful with the geranium roseannes. The bee balm is still blooming. I do have daisies that are still blooming, and need deadheading as well. And it's just looking stunning. Lots of coreopsis blooming here. There is coneflowers that are blooming. I have this Miss Ruby Buddleia that is blooming here. Lots and lots of cosmos, I don't know if you can see, are blooming. I'm going to walk around the back so you can see them. Yeah, it's been great. Of course, there are dried parts of this clematis that need clean up, but I want to show you beautiful cosmos that is blooming here. It's so beautiful. I love the wispiness of this. I do also have this Annabelle hydrangea, which is blooming. The size of this flower is crazy. I love it. It's so happy and beautiful. More black-eyed Susans here. More coneflowers here. More coneflowers here. Here is a bloom stalk on the reblooming lilac, which is throwing out some new blooms, which is nice to see. Yeah, more coneflowers. Roses have been deadheaded. These are geranium roseanne, which are blooming really beautifully. And this is Persicaria firetail, which is also blooming beautifully. And this garden here is also kind of filling in. It's looking absolutely beautiful. I do have some little roses remaining on my Roald Dahl rose, which is gorgeous as well. The echinacea and blanket flowers are blooming here, which are looking great. And if you can see, there are hydrangea blooms starting to pop up in between everything. And that's what I love about this time of the year, when the hydrangeas start to bloom. There is this like white thread of blooms, lace cap blooms and panicle blooms everywhere, and I love how that looks. This part of the garden has another lily that's blooming there. That rose, Galloway Bay, is done blooming. I have to go in and deadhead it, but the buddleias are opening up. This is another Miss Ruby, and I do have a Black Knight one in the back there, which is also blooming. Oh, I see a first bloom on the dahlia that I planted. Let's see. Oh my God, it's about to open. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow. So the dahlias are doing good. I did plant them randomly throughout the garden, and I'm excited to see that they're going to start to bloom soon. And more echinacea, and this part of the garden is a little wild. It's got like I did trim back a lot of my catmint here. It was flanking this walkway. I couldn't even see the walkway, but I think it's going to flush back nicely. And there's yarrow in the back there. There is lots of lilies, which I want to show you. Isn't this gorgeous? This is a beautiful daylily. I think this is a Proven Winners one, the Rainbow Rhythm series. And then I also have some other daylilies there. There is another one here, which is really, really beautiful. And yeah, more black-eyed Susan and yarrow. There's more bee balm, and I don't know if you can see there is a phlox there as well. Really hard for me to get in there, but I just wanted to show you what that was looking like. And then I have these beautiful twist and shout hydrangeas, which are really like perked up after the rain. I think they're looking really nice. The bloom on it is really nice as well. As you can see, my soil is alkaline, so they are more on the pink side, and they're beautiful. And then more echinacea. There is more daylily here, which is beautiful as well. And some more. Here's another look at that beautiful phlox. And I do have a herbstone rudbeckia that is blooming in the back there, and that can get really tall. So this is its first year in the garden, so it's a little bit tamer, but I can anticipate that to get really tall next year. And so yeah, lots of perennials are opening, the summer perennials. Here is a look at this pop star hydrangea. This is a new hydrangea in my garden. I have 3 of them planted here, and the blooms on them are really pretty as well. I really love the lace cap blooms. I think they have a little bit of this whimsical, magical quality to them, and I love them. Lucifer crocosmia is also blooming. Isn't that such a beautiful crocosmia? Wow, I love it. It adds such a nice tropical vibe to the garden, which is unexpected, and it's looking really good, especially with this Vernonia foliage. It's a beautiful native. And I do have Princess Charlene rose here. Love this rose. It's so fragrant and pretty. And yeah, I mean, I think this aster has been blooming now for weeks. This is the calamaris, I think. It's gorgeous, beautiful aster. And I do have more rudbeckia that is starting to bloom in the back there. More yarrow, more of that white phlox has opened up, and more black-eyed Susan and coneflowers. These are the Power wild berry and Verbena hastata. I think, look at the size of this plant. I mean, it is 6 feet tall at least, and it's gorgeous native plant. It's beautiful. And I have the blue boa agastaki in the back there. I love how thick its blooms are. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Blanket flowers are blooming here. I did cut back the catmint everywhere, and this is another bee balm. This is the red one. It's looking great as well. And then I do have some more daylilies here that I want to show you. Aren't they pretty? This is gorgeous. And I have V-bit grumpy hydrangea starting to bloom, and I think they have an excellent color to them. As you can see, they are a really bright pink. And this is the also happy eleganza rose, which has been blooming. This is a late bloomer in my garden, but it's blooming. More blanket flowers. Oops, I think it's going out of focus. And what I wanted to show you is this beautiful berries on the lemony lace elderberry. Isn't that pretty? That is so gorgeous. So beautiful. Everything is looking really good in the garden. My Sum and Substance hostas are opening up as well, and they are looking amazing. I love these hostas a lot. And then more coneflowers here. There is an agastaki in the back as well. It's called Meant to Be. Butterfly there. I don't know why it's on the pipe and not on the flowers, but it's perching there, and it's looking great. I mean, I think this garden is really looking nice, and it's glowing, and it's beautiful. So let me walk over to the front garden and show you what that's looking like. I want to also show you quickly this Rose of Sharon. Isn't that beautiful? That's gorgeous. I love how beautiful these blooms are and how big it's gotten just in 1 year, and it's happy here. So I love it, and it's blooming really nicely. Yeah, so the garden is looking great here in the backyard. Let me walk over to the front yard and quickly show you what's happening there. Veg garden is doing amazing. It's gone crazy with all the rain. Lots and lots of produce. Here's another cucumber. I just harvested really huge zucchinis yesterday again, and it's great. Do also have some tomatoes that are turning red, which is nice. So yeah, the garden is looking amazing in the backyard. So let me walk over to the front yard and show you what that's looking like. Walking into the front garden, I think it's looking really, really good as well. I do have some daylilies that are starting to bloom here. Isn't that such a gorgeous color? I have phlox that is starting to bloom. I do have this Pinky Winky standard, which is starting to bloom as well. Love when all of this matches, like mixes together and creates this really beautiful network of plants. I love that when that happens. Here is a beautiful coneflower which I added last year. The rabbits just chewed it to the ground when they started to sprout, and these are the butterfly postman coneflowers, and I just love the pop of orange over there. And here's a look at the garden from here. The canna lilies are really blooming well in that pot. And let's walk over now to the front and show you what the garden is looking like. So this here is still some daylilies going on. Of course, I haven't deadheaded this. I mean, they require constant deadheading, but I do love them. I don't mind the spent lilies hanging on the plants. I mean, and there's so much else to look at that, you know, if I can, I'll get to it. If not, it's okay. Lavender is looking great, and it's just beautiful out here, especially with this geranium roseanne. This is one of the first geraniums that I planted in the garden, and it's massive and it's gorgeous. I do see some weeds that have grown in between the geranium. I gotta pull them out. But here is a look at little lime hydrangea. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the chartreuse lime color this one has. It's so different compared to the other hydrangeas. And here is a buddleia. This is Prince Charming, and it's beautiful. I love the color. It's more like Miss Ruby. It's a magenta. And this here is Quickfire Standard, which is also looking amazing. And then let me just go around and show you. I mean, the Russian sage, this is the denim and lace, is starting to bloom. I do have another Coreopsis Zagreb, which is blooming here. I do also have geranium roseanne. And here is another look here of this beautiful pollinator section of my garden. I think everything is a pollinator section in my garden, but these are the beautiful coneflowers. They are so beautiful and vibrant. I love them. And then the cosmos has decided to self-seed here, and it's creating this wispy, airy presentation, and I love how that looks. And Liatris is also starting to bloom amongst everything else, and I love Liatris. It's such a nice architectural plant, along with Verbena bonariensis, which has just decided to show up anywhere and everywhere in my garden, and it's absolutely thrilling to see so many beautiful pollinators on the plants and just enjoying it. Yeah, so here's another view of the garden. Let's walk over to the other side and I'll show you what's happening. So this is the health strip garden. It's also looking really, really nice, and look how full it's looking with all the coneflowers, the daylilies, the agastachy. It's just absolutely stunning, and I have a little Rudbeckia poking through in the back. Yeah, the geraniums are starting to fill in, and the helenium is also looking really, really pretty in this garden. I love how that looks. And then let's go over to the other side as well, and let me show you what that's looking like. Let's go through this section now. So I have the Quickfire Fab, which is looking really fab in the back there. I love how bright white these blooms are, and then they turn a really nice pink as they age, and it's beautiful. The roses are starting to flush back. They are looking really good. Verbena bonariensis is poking through everywhere, and I love it. It's self-seeded itself everywhere, which is what I wanted it to do. The double play Doozy Spirea is putting out more and more blooms, which is it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and it's doing much better this year than it did last year. Loving it. Geranium Roseanne is just, you know, finding its way in all the plants, and more roses are starting to open up again, which is nice. They're going through their second flush. There is more coreopsis here, the two different varieties. There's Zagreb and there's Landslave coreopsis. Blanket flowers everywhere. There is Scabiosa here. This is the Pharma Deep Blue. This variegated phlox is about to, I think, bloom soon as well. Another firelight hydrangea with the Rudbeckia in the back. I'll walk around and I'll show you that Rudbeckia. It's beautiful. Blue Boa Agastaki. There's blue adder, black adder, and there is Nymphophia there as well, which is blooming. This is a new one that I planted here. This is the Proven Winners Nymphophia, I think it's called. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's the two-colored one, which has this orange and yellow, which I think looks really nice with all these colors that are already here. And it adds a different shape to the garden. I do have another Joe Pye weed, which is about to open as well. This one is, I think, called Gateway. This is a different variety. It's also a shorter variety, which is nice. More daylilies here, more coneflowers here. Looking really good. So this is my little wild side of the garden. It also has coneflowers, it has daylilies, it has all kinds of things in it. I just wanted to come here and show you this Quicksilver rose. It's looking really good. And then this Rudbeckia is outstanding. I love how big it is, how beautiful it is. And it just seeds around and does its thing here in the garden, which I really like. More daylilies are poking through the fence. And then I have lots of borage here, which is also doing its thing. And this is another section of the health strip garden, which is starting to take shape. I mean, the echinacea is looking really, really good. This is supposed to be a pallida, but I think it's a mix of some sort. It has two different varieties in here. More coneflowers, and the double play doozy spireas are also starting to bloom a lot more. And tiny tough stuff red hydrangea, I wasn't sure how it was going to do here, but it's seeming to do well here, so I'm going to leave it here. I do have some more liatris that I planted, and I have a lot of native seedlings that are probably not going to do much here this year, but I think we should see more of this come to life next year. And I also planted some gaillardia from seed, which is growing pretty well, and I think it's going to bloom soon as well. So that's everything in this beautiful front garden of mine. I'm really always in awe when I see it change through the season. Just when you think something is done, something else is opening up, and that's the joy of gardening. And I love planting mixed plants everywhere. As you can see, the alliums are starting to open as well. This one is Serendipity. So something is always opening up, and I don't like to plant too much in drifts, because then I feel things just go dead all at once in one spot. So I like to spread it out, and then something is always popping in bloom somewhere. So that's it from this garden today, and I hope everyone is having a beautiful gardening day wherever you're joining me from, and I'll catch you very soon in my next video. Have a great week ahead. Bye.